The Forbidden Channel. Alex was an ordinary college student who loved spending his nights surfing the internet and exploring obscure corners of forums. One day, he stumbled upon a strange thread. A user claimed that they had found a mysterious, forbidden channel that could only be accessed on old TV sets. According to them, the channel broadcasted something so terrifying that those who watched it simply disappeared. Just another urban legend, Alex thought, but something about the post stuck with him. It felt as if it were calling him specifically. He dug out an old Electron TV from his attic. The set was covered in dust, with scratches across its surface and a faded power button. He cleaned it up, plugged it in, and turned it on. At first, the TV displayed nothing but static. He fiddled with the antenna, adjusted the dials, and after hours of tinkering, the screen suddenly stabilized. It was a nameless, unnumbered channel. The screen was black and white, showing what appeared to be security camera footage. Empty rooms, abandoned buildings, long, endless hallways. The ambient sound was unsettling, a faint background noise that sounded like a distant breath or whisper, though no words could be made out. Suddenly, the camera focused on a room that Alex recognized. It was his living room. A chill ran down his spine as he saw himself on the screen, sitting on the couch, staring at the TV. But behind him, there was something. A figure, tall and thin, with a featureless face. Its shadowy form seemed to blend with the darkness of the room. Terrified, Alex turned around, but the room was empty. It's just a glitch in the signal, he reassured himself, but his trembling hands betrayed his fear as he turned off the TV. The second night. The next night, curiosity got the better of him. He decided to turn the TV back on. The screen flickered with static for a moment before the signal returned. This time, the camera showed a long, dark hallway. The ceiling was low, the walls stained and cracked, and the wooden floor creaked under unseen footsteps. The view moved forward, as if the camera was being held by someone walking down the corridor. Something black darted past the corner of the screen. Alex's heart skipped a beat, but he couldn't look away. The camera slowly approached the corner. As it turned, the screen once again showed his living room. But this time, it wasn't empty. On the floor behind his couch, there was a growing dark stain, like spilled liquid. And then, from the shadows, long, black fingers began to reach out toward his shoulder. Alex grabbed the remote and turned the TV off. The room fell into silence, but he felt the presence of something else with him. The first encounter. That night, Alex couldn't sleep. He lay in bed, straining to catch every sound. Somewhere in the apartment, a door slammed softly. Then he heard it, a faint scratching, like nails dragging across his window pane. Mustering his courage, he crept to the window and peered outside. Nothing. Just the empty street below. But as soon as he stepped back, the sound returned, louder this time. His blood turned to ice when he looked again. A figure stood outside the window, its face pressed against the glass. No features, just a pale, blank void where eyes, a nose, and a mouth should have been. Its elongated fingers scratched the glass from the inside. Alex screamed. In a frenzy, he ran to the TV. He had to destroy it, break it, do something. But before he could touch it, the screen flickered on by itself. The same channel. This time, the camera was inside his apartment, panning around the living room, slowly turning toward the hallway that led to his bedroom. He heard it again, that low, raspy whisper from the speakers, "You must watch." A descent into terror. In the days that followed, Alex's life became a waking nightmare. Even in the daylight, he could hear faint whispers behind closed doors, the sound of footsteps pacing just outside his apartment. At night, the TV would turn on by itself, no matter how many times he unplugged it. The images grew more disturbing. One night, the screen showed Alex asleep in his bed. But looming over him was the shadowy figure, its long fingers almost grazing his face. The next night, the TV displayed cryptic text. "You saw us. Now you're one of us." The final night, Alex saw something he would never forget. The feed showed a familiar street. It was his street. The camera moved closer, capturing his building, his front door, his hallway. Then it stopped. It was now in his apartment. The camera panned toward his couch, but Alex wasn't there. Instead, his phone sat on the cushion, its screen glowing. Alex looked down at the phone in his hand. A new message had appeared: "We are behind you." Slowly, he looked back at the TV. It was off. But in its dark, reflective screen, he saw his own silhouette, and behind him, the hollow, faceless figure, its arms slowly wrapping around him. The aftermath. The next morning, Alex's neighbors called the police. No one had seen him leave, and his door was locked from the inside. When authorities entered his apartment, they found no sign of Alex. The only thing left was the old television, still on, broadcasting a single message on an otherwise empty screen. Join us.